there's definitely a lot of incentive for you guys to stick around through to the end of this. Because after I'm done, now I'm hosting up through Bleed 2 and Silent Hill 3, but after that, it's just back-to-back games that are equally incredible. We've got Gravity Duck, we've got Mega Man 4, we've got Quickie World 2, Celeste. I don't think there's been a single speedrun of Celeste that I have watched that I haven't been completely blown away by seeing the move execution that these people do. It never gets old. And then finishing it off with an hour and 25-minute run of The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD. It's going to be back-to-back awesomeness from start to finish, so I hope you guys will stick around until the very end. But I think I heard someone ping in. Is firesplitter here yet?
Yes, I'm here. Indeed, I am.
You excited for this?
Oh yeah, I definitely am.
Dude.
Definitely excited to play some Bleed 2 here.
Dude, after seeing the trailer, like, I cannot wait to see how you handle these fights.
Yeah, this is a pretty insane game from time to time.
Are you more of a dodging person, or are you someone who likes to go hyper-aggressive and try and cut all the bullets?
I'm definitely more aggressive.
Yes!
You have to be aggressive when you speedrun, otherwise it's not gonna work.
I love it! I love it.
There is no other way when you speedrun. You are playing aggressive.
Alright,
but there are some specific rules to the reflecting I'm gonna go into when we get there.
You said specific rules that we're doing?
Yeah, there are some rules to reflecting I'm gonna go to when I get there.
Alright. Well, I am all set to go when you are, so feel free to take it away whenever you're ready.
I'm definitely ready to go right now, and I'm gonna start counting now. 3, 2, 1, and go. So hello everyone, it's firesplitter here, and if you didn't know this before, we're gonna play some Bleed 2 here. This is a pretty high-paced action platformer with twin stick shooter elements. The goal here is basically to move as quickly as possible, obviously. This is done by trying to dash as much as possible. Normally we can only dash 3 times in a row, but by hitting edges or doing some other tricks, we can basically trick the game into thinking that we have landed. And then we are basically free to do 3 more dodges in a row, which can be used for very, very fast movement in some stages. We're gonna see a lot of that in stage 2, where there are several sections of the run where we can basically non-stop go from start to finish. Get a little trick here, we stop time to skip animation, and there we go.
This is like if you gave a hummingbird a Gatling gun.
Yeah, this game is very high paced. We are going to the first boss now, so I'm going to go into the rules about the dodging I talked about before. We can basically dodge anything that's purple, but we can't reflect purple stuff, so we are not going to dodge those things, or reflect those things. And we can reflect that, and then he doesn't do that. We're gonna follow him up there to basically reflect those. Gives a little bit of extra damage. Gonna back off a little bit, and there we go. That was quick.
Getting some,
time for the next part.
Oh, go ahead.
Next part here is basically gonna be an auto-scroller. There's not very much gonna happen here. We're gonna kill some enemies before they can do anything because I have memorized most of the positions they're gonna pop up at.
Oh, I'm already getting Gunstar Heroes vibes from this.
Yeah. Only gonna be better and better. This is the first level. Here comes the second boss. And this one we're gonna try to cuddle up a little close to the boss because this guy shoots some bullet trains and we basically want to reflect those close to the boss because then we get extra hits in due to the katana's hitbox, and box turns purple, gonna reflect it. And there we go. Not sparing any moments here. By standing close to the boss when we reflect, we basically get some hitboxes with the katana. It deals a little extra damage, it's not much, but anything do really. Anything that helps. Time for stage 2.
Did you say?
That was good. That was good. That was a gold. That was a gold.
Oh, nice.
That was a gold split.
Now, did you say does the katana itself also do damage if you're close enough, or is it just for reflecting bullets?
No, it does extra damage as well if you're close enough.
Oh my god.
We have some clumsy movement here. It's fine though. I'm counting always on messing this part up a little bit because this movement part I'm not the best in the world at. Next movement part though I hope goes smooth because that's the one I practice the most. It's the one that looks super cool if you get it. I try to reflect stuff here and perfect. The cat didn't go behind the scene. The cat can basically go behind the scene there and then you can't shoot it for a lot of time. Which is obviously not very nice. And here we go. Now it's time for the tunnel. This is probably one of the most iconic parts of this run for the runners, because this part is so insanely good. We missed. Basically, I try to reset forever here by basically hitting the edges. That way the game thinks that we are still trying to dodge. It thinks that we are landing on the ground, so that we get 3 more dodges. There we go. Gotta cuddle up here. This fight isn't going too well. Yeah, we're not seeing any rocket there. This one can basically shoot purple rockets. If that happens, we gain a lot of time. A lot of the time saves and time lost in this game are up to how many purple stuff we get. We're gonna see a lot more of that later on in the run, because some parts later on in the run are gonna be very, very different in how quick they go, depending on how much purple we get. We've already seen a little bit of that. There's gonna be some extreme cases later on. The next boss, for example, after this one, is gonna shoot a lot of stuff, a lot of purple or yellow stuff. If she shoots a lot of yellow, we're basically losing a lot of time. If she shoots a lot of reds, we are fine. Gonna try to stay alive here. We have very, very small health bar. I took a lot more hits there than I'm used to. It's probably the marathon nerves playing in a little bit here. After this boss, though, we're gonna take a little. We're basically gonna have a little time for some incentive action after this boss, because there is gonna be a long auto scroller after this fight.
Okay.
Before the next boss. Probably one of the most relaxing moments of this run. These cars are pretty hard. It doesn't look too hard, but if you fail reflecting one of those, it's gonna hit the truck here. And that basically means that the truck is gonna take a full cycle to hit her again. So we basically lose about 10 seconds if you fail that part. So it's very, very important to get it. And there we go. Second stage run.
That was super close.
Yeah, it's super close. And now it's time to read donations now.
We don't have anything new coming in yet. Like I said, we still have the $200 left for the incentive for Mega Man 4 alternate Rock and Rush sprites. That will close at the end of the next run, so we have about an hour and 15 minutes, I would say. I heard people commenting, they were like, yo, I forgot that this is the easy difficulty of the game.
Yeah,
did I see one? Was there 3 or 4 different difficulty
modes? Oh, there are 4 different difficulties.
Have you done the hardest?
Oh yeah, I have. My PB for that is like a 43 or something. I'm not very, very good at that one yet. I practiced a little bit for it, but it's stupid.
I'll tell you what. I will offer this. If we hit that Mega Man incentive before the end of this run, let's see what's the pricing on the game. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'm gonna give away a couple copies of this game, this one Bleed 2, if we manage to hit that incentive before the end of the run.
That's great. And it's time for the next fight. Next fight is gonna be the Ninja. The Ninja is a pretty annoying fight, but there's basically a glitch we can do there to make the fight a little bit less annoying. It's one of the few glitches we'll see in this game, but it's a very, very neat one. It's not as much of a glitch as an oversight, I would say, but you'll see when we get there. Stage 1, we're gonna go up and smooch the Ninja a little bit. We're gonna meet him in the air there, so we can get quick reflexes, because he turns purple. All of these are gonna be purple except for that one. And now we're gonna stand here with Katana. Normally we can't hit him here because he will reflect all of our bullets, but if we stand with Katana at specific distances, he will not reflect this because the Katana's hitbox is basically getting through his shield. Which makes this fight very, very much faster than it used to be before that was discovered.
I thought you said this was a boss fight. You made it seem more like a mini boss.
Yeah, I know, right? That fight used to be much harder before that was a thing. It was so much harder before that was a thing.
So what you're...
There's another glitch there.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, there's another glitch there that's specific to like endless or challenge mode, where you can basically stand at a specific distance and use the gun, and he can't reflect it because his hitbox doesn't trigger, but that doesn't work in story mode.
So what I need to get from what I need to understand from this is that if I get my hair dyed purple, I'll be able to reflect bullets.
Yes, and if you have yellow hair, you can reflect yellow bullets. And yes, there's a character with yellow hair.
If I do half and half, do I just become invulnerable?
Oh, I wish. I wonder. I'm hoping.
I wonder?
I'm hoping they're gonna release a character like that in the future. That would be great. And here's Rick's rocket. We're gonna basically jump off the platforms he creates. There's nothing much going on here. We basically hope for purple, as always. Next stage, I call the boss gauntlet, because at the end of the stage there's gonna be like 4 bosses right back to back with one another. It's a pretty fun part. Before that, we're gonna have another auto-scroller that's very much more punishing than the auto-scrolls in this level. Basically, if we get hit in the auto-scroll, it's gonna slow down, so we basically lose like 7-8 seconds if that happens. I'm not hoping that happens in the run, but because I mentioned it's probably going to happen. But let's hope it doesn't. So here's Jeff's time. We're just gonna shoot out some stuff. We're gonna jump up here to basically destroy stuff, so we have a clean field here and do some damage. And just spinning around, that's very good. That's basically his kindest pattern. He has 3 patterns.
Oh, I feel so bad for the pilot of that after spinning around many times.
Yeah, I know. And here's the auto-scroller. If we get hit here, this screen is going to progressively increase in speed, and if we get hit, it's basically slowing down. It's basically a mechanic that's made to make this part more plausible for casual playthroughs, because this is gonna get pretty quick towards the end.
So it's friendly to normal gamers, but very unfriendly.
Yeah, very unfriendly for speedrunners, because this makes this section so punishing for speedrunning.
Do you want me to give you some quiet time, or?
Nah, this part is fine.
All right.
It's easy. It's like one of the parts that's easy. You are more annoyed than anything else if you fail.
Look at this guy, firesplitter. It's easy. I don't know what people are talking about. This is no brainer.
I mean, compared to most of the movement this round, that's pretty easy.
Well, we do have a $5 donation from Sin that just said go get him. He did contribute towards the Mega Man 4 incentive, and like I said before, I've decided if chat manages to get this incentive for Mega Man met before the end of this run, I will, on my own time, I'll gift 3 copies of this game, Bleed 2, and I'll go ahead and throw in 1 copy of River City Girls, the lucky winners, to thank you guys for your donations. So
yeah,
that's only valid until the end of this run.
Okay, there we go. That was the first boss of the gauntlet. That's an easier boss. Here's the second boss. We basically have to fight against these 2 worms. We're gonna jump from side to side here. It's a pretty soft fight, but it's like a little annoying because it's very RNG dependent. This fight can go any way, really, because it has several patterns. The best thing it can do is basically that they go up 2 times each, and the purple one is staying up, because then I get a lot of free time where I can stand close to the boss and basically just reflect bullets on it. But that didn't happen. But that's fine. Here comes probably one of the harder bosses in the game. We're basically gonna spin around with this one because it is a heal around, but there's an opening here you can see. If we shoot in that opening, we can deal damage to it. Can always use katana to deal damage, same as with Ninja, really.
Will katana hit through that shield, or do you have to hit through the open spot?
You have to. It hits through a shield with katana, but the gun does more damage. It's like better to go for that if you can.
Right.
And here comes Robo Bunny. He has 2 different patterns she can do when she stops. She can either do that and drop a car, which is not what we want really. We want her to do her other pattern, which is that she is gonna drop some bombs on us. It's very unfortunate she did that twice. We're gonna lose quite some time with that because we're gonna see her 3 cycles. Otherwise, you can do 2 cycles here pretty easily. But that was the boss gauntlet. Time for probably the hardest stage in this game, which is the Warship. This stage has the, in my opinion, hardest boss in this game. Though I'm pretty alone in thinking that, but this boss is very punishing for controller players. It's like very different. The gameplay feels very different depending on you play with controller or mouse keyboard, because you get a lot of freedom in terms of movement with controller, but you also have a lot of problems with aiming because you basically have to play twin stick, which is a little rough, especially on this boss, as you will see. He's gonna shoot these platforms out. We're gonna have to dodge them, and basically it's gonna get a quarter in the middle, which we are going to try to get through. And let's see here. Difference if you play with mouse keyboard here is that you basically can hover the mouse over the boss and you are aiming at it pretty automatically. But here I'm basically going to have to readjust my controller every single time I move, which is pretty annoying in this fight because we have to move around a lot. It's pretty manageable and easy, but when you come up to a higher difficulty like hard or very hard, it's a mess, It's very, very hard to deal some damage there. Now we're basically in a zero gravity field. We're basically gonna fly around a little bit, and this is gonna be going on until the next boss is done. Next couple of bosses. This boss is pretty simple, but it has a stage 2 that's a little rougher. Basically, I try to keep up here with the boss and hope it does the wall things. These walls can basically, with spikes, can basically go in to us like that and turn purple, and that does us a lot of damage to the boss. Like everything purple, if we reflect it, does a lot of damage. A lot of free damage. Here comes the second part though. This part is a little rougher. It's gonna fly around. We're gonna get some movements to shoot around. There is nothing we really can do here to do anything. We can't even get through the shield here with the katana like we could with other shields. This shield is a little special. It's like, I think it's one of the few shields in this game that works like that you actually can't shoot through katana with. So we're basically gonna hope to get a free cycle here. If we get 4 cycle here, it's pretty bad. And we're still gonna come up to the run killer. There is a boss coming up now that basically is responsible for most of the deaths of runs in this game, because just how important the RNG of this boss is. This boss has 5 different patterns, but there are 2 patterns we are really caring about, and that's the Pac-Man pattern and the missile pattern. The Pac-Man pattern, it basically turns to a Pac-Man. And if that happens, that's good. That's very good, because we can do a lot of damage to the boss if that happens. In the best of world, we get 2 Pac-Mans basically in this fight. But if it goes bad, we can turn into rockets. And those have some... It's a long animation, but it's also this very little damage. So we're hoping for Pac-Man, not hoping for rockets. The other 3 patterns are varying degrees of not as good as Pac-Man, but they are tolerable. Really, the only thing we really don't want to see is rockets, and we really want to see Pac-Man basically. Let's hope for a Pac-Man soon. For a run to be good, you basically want to have at least 1 Pac-Man normally. And no rockets. Because it saves so much time. Could have been done by now by like 5, 6, 7 seconds ago if we had at least 1 Pac-Man. But I'm happy to see that we didn't have any bullets, because the bullets are just
still really
so
solid.
slow. Yeah. It was a very solid fight. Very middle of the line. It's kind of what you expect on an average run. It was good.
Look, man, you still got an S rank, so you won the moral victory.
Yeah, there we go. Time for the final 2 stages. We're basically gonna fight what is supposed to be the final boss of this game now, who is Valentine. Her plot's basically that she's trying to be the best supervillain of all time, and the only way to be that is obviously to defeat the best superhero of all time. That's kind of why she has invaded the planet, to fight against Rim, who is the greatest hero of all time. So she can become the greatest villain of all time. It's very logical. You know how it is. To be the best, you have to beat the best. And there we go. We're gonna take some intentional damage here because we're gonna do animation skip later on this fight by dying. It's basically the only death we want in this run. It saves us a lot of time, and she starts off with that. That's good. That's very good actually. Valentine's doing pretty good here. The next fight against her though is like the worst one in my opinion, because he's gonna teleport all around the place. You'll see it. It's pretty slow. And we're gonna have to shoot her, and there we go. And she's gonna go through the portals. We want her to be purple out the last portal. There we go. Then we can reflect her. If he turns yellow there, it's pretty bad because you lose so much time, because it's a lot of damage you don't get on that cycle, and that cycle is slow. It's basically only a good cycle because you can do that extra damage. If you don't get that extra damage, it's very, very hurting. And it was a pretty fast valve free, actually. Gonna go down here, and right when it hits 2 and she starts lifting, we're gonna jump down. Normally she does a very, very long animation here to explain the mechanic of the next part of this fight, which basically, she gotta stop here. Before, if we taunted, the crowd would shoot stuff at us, but now the crowd has turned against her because they are very upset with her throwing them around. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna stun lock her here by basically timing in very perfectly when we do that. You can fail this part, and that's very costly. It costs like 7-8 seconds or something if you fail it. It's very, very good we didn't fail it. That fight is normally a lot rougher than I made it look there, because I basically stun locked her until she died. And that was the final boss of this game, but the run is still not over. There's still more. There's really much, much more to come. And that was a purple, or a gold. It was best time ever on this split. That was very, very good. Very, very good Valentine split. And now we come to the real final stage. The plot here is basically that in the last game, Vryn stole the title of Hero of the best hero of all time from the yellow-haired guy we have seen along. And he basically is out to regain that title by fighting her, but Vryn doesn't want to fight. She basically just wants to play video games. So they are making a little deal here. If he can defeat him, they're gonna go back to her place and play video game for all eternity, basically. And he's gonna stop trying to steal her title from her. And that was the first boss, the Mantis Core. And here comes this big flying machine, which has too much health for its own best, but in New Game it doesn't really matter, it has a lot of health. It's more of a concern in Freestyle, because in New Game the most of the damage you gotta do is going to come from reflecting missiles here. There's basically a way to do way more damage in Freestyle, which is the other game mode of this, where you have access to all the weapons. In New Game we basically only have the basic weapons, which is the sword and gun. And in this case, the reflex does so much damage. The missile reflex does so much damage, so much more than gun. So it's basically a very, very average boss in terms of how long it takes. But if you play on Freestyle, it's gonna take a lot longer than most bosses does on Freestyle because of the health bar. Because you're still gonna want to use the white, that is called. It's basically a weapon that gets stronger the better style you have. And we're soon done here. Yeah, see what this boss does? It doesn't really give us what we want. We basically want to shoot purple rockets here. Like everything else, purple is good. We can reflect everything purple. We can actually reflect those lasers a little bit, but it's not very, very viable because the boss does take extra damage for it. You can go with those lasers and do a slash to get through the laser without taking damage. It's a mechanic I noticed like a little while ago while I was playing very hard and had it happen by accident. There's really no big speedrunning applications for that. And
oh man, this boss phase is giving me flashbacks.
yeah. Gotta go down here, shooting it. This boss is a little bit more thinky. I have to think a little bit more fighting this one because there's so much going on here. I basically have to forge my own field as I play to put up in a position where I basically can always have the boss in so I can damage it without taking too much damage myself. Because our health is gonna matter soon. And there we go. This is a problem. I don't like having this little health in the next boss fight. So we're gonna have to hope that this boss fight is treating us well, and we're not gonna do any overly risky strats here. It's gonna do one thing, we use a ball that we can reflect. We're not gonna do that mechanic because we have too little health for me to want to do that. It's better to just take the safe win here. I'm also gonna skip another little trick, sadly, that I really enjoyed. I've been playing around with a little bit lately, where it does this sort of thing. But I gotta play a little bit with it because it's stupid not do it when it gives me for free. that sword there works like the katana for the ninja we had before, only that he moves while it does it. This is the mechanic we are skipping. Normally you should reflect that and go back and forth, but when I'm this low on health, I really don't want to go for it. Because it's very, very easy to take some chip damage while doing it, and I'm really not in a health position where I can afford to do it. But yeah, there we go.
Very nice.
Very nice, and it's time. And that was Bleed 2. I want to thank Yakut a lot, because Yakut has been a very, very great resource for the community. He has done a lot for the community throughout the years. He's basically one of the main people who are keeping this community active and alive, and he always tries to do different things to make it happen. I also want to thank Eviona and Bluemane for discovering a lot of stuff, and Newbie as well, who is an old runner who hasn't been running this for a while, who has also helped discover a lot of the strategies that are used in this game. But yeah, that was Bleed 2. Thank you very, very much. What time did I get, by the way?
23:40 is what it shows for me.
Nice. Thank you very, very much for having me, and have a good rest of the marathon. Unless you have any more questions for me.
Do you have any shoutouts that you want to give?
I already gave my shoutouts.
Yep. Anything else?
Not really. I hope you enjoyed the run.
Oh, dude, that was absolutely intense. Like,
awesome.
If that was easy mode, I might have to like buy it for myself just to try out the super insane difficulty.
Yeah, there is the super insane difficulty, and there's some code where you can put in to make the super hard mode even harder.
Oh no, there's the ultra hard code.
Or something like at the menu.
In my experience,
even
if
harder.
the game makes you put in a code to access a difficulty mode, it's like, it's serious business.
Yeah, you have to go to the options page to turn it on. And that's insane.
Oh my god. All right, well, thank you very much for
thank you very much
dude.
for having me. Have a nice one.